You know, you've got incredibly talented players right here in Caitlin and Aliyah and Lexi, a team that was incredibly fun to watch, very tough to game plan against. So I'm glad I'm going to get to work with you guys, work with you ladies, instead of having to think about how to stop you.
Did you catch the latest news? Stephanie White is back in Indiana, and she's ready to shake things up in the WNBA. This isn't just a coaching switch. She's aiming for big things. Forget about just showing up. She's here to win championships and hang banners. Get ready, because a basketball revolution is about to start in Indiana.
It's so bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012.
Stephanie White isn't messing around. She's already got her eyes on Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston, calling them the greatest duo to ever play. Asterisk, not just in the WNBA, but in basketball history. Asterisk, that's some serious praise. There's a new dynamic duo in town, and this isn't just a prediction. It's a spoiler. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Ready? Let's get into it.
When you think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen, they are going to go as the greatest.
Let's talk about Stephanie White's return to Indiana. This is no ordinary coaching hire. It's like basketball royalty coming back home, and it's a big deal. White didn't just stroll back into town. She's been part of the Fever from the start. She's woven into the team's very fabric. From player to assistant coach to head coach, she's seen and done it all. White helped lead the Fever to a championship in 2012 as an assistant, and when she took over as head coach in 2015, she nearly brought the team back to the finals in her very first year, falling just one win short of another title. Trust me, she hasn't forgotten what it feels like to win.
Yeah, at different points, you think back and you're like, man, that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool that I got to win a national championship in my home state, that I got to be a part of a WNBA championship in my home state, play professionally in my home state, and then be the head coach of my home franchise. That was really pretty cool.
Here's where it gets really exciting. While the Fever were rebuilding, Stephanie White wasn't sitting idle. Nope, she was on the sidelines as an analyst, studying every move, every play, every change. She's been watching closely and soaking up all that knowledge. Now she's ready to put it to work. Let's be honest, White has unfinished business, and she's made it clear. Her goal is to hang another banner in the fieldhouse. And trust me, that's not just talk. It's a bold statement to the entire league.
You know, Chrissy Sides did a great job. And as we move forward, you know, my thought process was how do we maximize what we have, and how do we jump on this opportunity now?
The players and fans are absolutely thrilled about this hire, and it's easy to see why. They know exactly what Stephanie White brings to the table. She's not just a coach. She's a basketball genius. With a deep understanding of the game and a history of success, she knows how to develop young talent. And with stars like Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull already on the roster, this team has the potential for something really special.
Talk about communicating to your players that you are pumped to coach them. You're going to be the greatest duo in history of the game. We're going to hang up all these banners. You know, Stephanie White understands the assignment. She understands the assignment.
The Fever's management didn't pull back when they called Stephanie White basketball royalty in Indiana, and they're spot on. This woman lives and breathes Indiana basketball. She knows the culture, understands the expectations, and most importantly, she knows exactly what it takes to win in this league. And let's talk about the ripple effect on free agency. With White, Koff, and Cox leading the way, Indiana is suddenly a much more appealing destination for top players. They'll want to play for coaches who can elevate their game, and White has proven time and time again that she's the one to do it.
We are at a point where we have an attractive group, we have a great organization, we can attract a few free agents to come here and bolster and keep us on the path that we're on.
So, why is everyone so hyped about Stephanie White's return? Because this isn't just a fresh start for the Fever. It's a whole new era. White isn't here to just keep rebuilding. She's here to take the team to the next level. With her deep knowledge of the game, proven success, and fierce drive, she's on a mission to turn this squad into a title contender. If that doesn't excite you, maybe check your pulse. The Fever are ready to make some noise, and with White leading the way, it's about to get fiery. What's her plan for the team? We'll break it down in just a moment. But before we do, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for sticking with us. Now, let's dive back into it.
Knows where Aliyah Boston's going to be. Aliyah Boston knows where Caitlin's going to be.
Caitlin and Aliyah have almost a poetic pick and roll action going all the time. Caitlin can already find her teammates, but just the fluidity between her and Aliyah, it's like they're on a different wavelength now.
Stephanie White may be holding the matches, but Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston are the dynamite. These two aren't just young stars. They're basketball phenoms with the kind of talent that could shake the entire league to its core. So what exactly does White see in them that has her making such bold predictions? Let's break it down. First up, Caitlin Clark. This isn't just a great player. She's rewriting the rulebook for what it means to be a point guard. In her debut season with the Fever, she averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game, while shattering 62 records along the way. That's not just impressive. That's historic. Clark became the first rookie in almost 2 decades to make the first team All-NBA. Her court vision? So good, it made Magic Johnson take notice. She doesn't just make plays. She creates opportunities out of thin air, almost like a basketball magician. And then there's Aliyah Boston. In just her second season, she's already a powerhouse in the paint, putting up 14.0 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. When she's down low, defenders have no choice but to double-team her. She's a force of nature that makes an impact every time she steps on the court. Together, Clark and Boston aren't just a duo. They're a game-changing combination that could redefine the Fever's future.
She knows how to lay it out on a dime. Her court vision is impeccable, and now her teammates are ready to catch the ball. They trust she's going to get it where it needs to be. But y'all, the favorite part of my game from Caitlin Clark is this behind the back pass. Come on now. I love it. I love it. And that wasn't just one time. She does that on a frequent and drops it right there. Perfect to Aliyah Boston.
So let me just sprinkle in, because you mentioned AB. 2 of those highlights, I believe, were a Clark-Boston connection. Those 2 have been the second best scoring duo in the league behind Asia Wilson and Jackie Young.
And the best part, these 2 are just getting started. Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston haven't even reached their peak yet, and they're already dominating the league. Stephanie White's been watching them closely, and she's seen something special brewing between them that's got her practically salivating. She's not just hyping them up for the sake of it. Her predictions are so bold, they'd make even the most fearless sports analysts second-guess themselves. So how high does White think their ceiling is? She's not just saying they'll be great, or even that they'll be the best in the WNBA. No, White's going all in. She believes that Clark and Boston will become the greatest duo of all time, not just in the WNBA, but in all of basketball. And honestly, she might be onto something. She's seen how these 2 have grown together, how they've learned to read each other's game and already developed a chemistry that's rare to see even in the pros. The future of this duo is looking bright, and White's ready to watch them shine.
And these 2 have led the way with that. And then you put it together and you've got the point guard in the center. Are you kidding me? Like, you've got the bookends that you want to build around. And these 2 are the best. And I think that there's so many things that they do well right now. And you saw the difference from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, and how much better they got with one another, how much they could anticipate what one another was going to do, how they facilitated with one another.
That's not just improvement. That's pure chemistry developing right before our eyes. What's truly exciting about this new energy around the Fever is the way the players are backing each other up. The moment White's appointment was announced, the team lit up social media, sharing the news and showing their excitement like it was the biggest thing going. At White's press conference, those who were still in the US made sure to be there, sitting front and center, showing their full support for their new coach. There's no question about it. This team is already buying into White's vision, and the support from the players speaks volumes. It's a sign that this squad is ready to work together and take the next big step.
Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, all in attendance to see their new coach, Stephanie White, introduced.
Let's be real for a moment. Stephanie White isn't just some coach making wild predictions. This is a woman who knows basketball like the back of her hand. She's seen the greats come and go, so when she says Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston are going to be legendary, you can bet she's got solid reasons for saying it. And honestly, when you watch these 2 on the court, it's tough to argue with her. The WNBA, Better get ready because the Clark-Boston era is about to kick off. It's going to be one heck of a ride.
The direction, the timeline was accelerated, to be honest. There was an opportunity to try to take experience, look at how can we maximize this group of young players, the resources that we have to be successful, and move that forward. So, we had made a decision that we were going to move on, and that was tough because it doesn't take away from anything that Christy did and what that coaching staff did. And to use her words, she left it better than she found it. But we're looking forward, and this is about the next phase and the next era of kind of what we're building here.
You think Stephanie White's just talking big? Think again. She's not here to mess around. She's here to light up the WNBA, and she's got a game plan that's going to turn heads. Let's start with offense. White's bringing a fast-paced, high-energy system that's going to have defenses scrambling. But here's the thing. She's not just about flashy plays or highlight reels. No, White knows the real secret to success is on the defensive end. That's where championships are won, and trust me, she's got a strategy to lock teams down. What really sets White apart, though, is her mindset. It's not just her basketball IQ, it's her whole approach to the game. She's not afraid to think outside the box and push boundaries. In her own words, asterisk players win the ball games. Asterisk. And that's not just a catchy phrase. It's her philosophy.
She emphasized creativity and letting players be themselves. She said if you want to make plays, you don't run plays, which is basically a direct appeal to Caitlin Clark, meaning the freedom to make those plays, to read and react to the plays in the moment, to let Caitlin Clark run the show.
She's empowering her players to make decisions, be creative, and take control on the court.
Building quality depth is going to be important. When you have a core three like we have, surrounding them with players who are going to, fill the roles, certainly, first and foremost, who are going to embrace the roles, secondly, and who give us the best opportunities for success by complementing what they do really, really well.
With players like Clark and Boston leading the charge, that's the kind of freedom that leads to basketball magic.